Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Laurent Boukobza and today we're going to talk about the second movement of the fifth sonata from Beethoven. The sonata is in C minor, opus 10 number 1, but this movement is actually in A flat major. The form of the sonata is actually a sonatina, like in a sonata form, that's going to have a first and second theme, but there will be no development. It's going to have a huge chord. We're going to see a dominant chord that's going to lead us back to the beginning of the piece actually. So it's going to feel as if we're playing twice the first and second theme a second time. Except the first theme will be in the key, the second theme will be in the dominant the first time. Then this big dominant chord, and then we'll have the first theme again in the regular key and the second theme in the regular key to end the piece in the regular key, which is A flat major. But we're going to have a lot of variations of that theme. The very beginning shows these little ornaments. So we're going to have a lot of ornaments. Salieri, first sonata, second sonata. Go listen to my previous videos. So we start like this. So very vocal. Right away we can hear that it's like a singer. And actually the turn that we see, this little sign that comes from the Baroque period and Salieri, belcanto, that turn is placed in between the notes. That means we can do it whenever we want. But here's the thing. I don't think that it should be played too late or too early. If it's played too late, we're going to hear this. If it's played too early, we're going to hear this. So how to choose when it's too late and too early? Well, let's go back to the root of all things, singing. How would a singer that sings belcanto would want to sing this? If he sings ta 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 ta, that's going to sound like he's rushed. It's coming from the very beginning of this opening and ta ta ta. No. And if he does ta da 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 da, it seems that each note are worth the same value, so there's no main notes and ornaments. The ornaments become the main note, so it's complicated for an audience to understand that. So I'm trying to place that in the middle, so I'm playing like this. And the second time. More importantly than anything, I'm trying to play those ornaments in an arrhythmical manner. I don't want them to be strictly on time because it's vocal. And vocalists don't sing strictly on time. That would sound a little too mechanical. Then the theme reappears right after a little cadenza. We talked about the cadenza in the fourth sonata, the second movement. So we hear the trill that we had in the last movement of the third sonata. So little trill. And that little cadenza, and look, that cadenza is very interesting because if I really had to play that strictly on time, it would sound ridiculous. So I'm going to play it for you exactly as written. It's like, what? Why are you playing so fast? Well, so I'm going to have to stretch the time. And stretching the time, it's kind of a concept of rubato actually. And rubato is romantic period. So although we're only on the fifth sonata from Beethoven, we already have an idea of rubato. And it's written because if we don't play rubato, it sounds too fast. So that will sound like this. And as soon as we play this, you can recognize that the accompaniment, these repeated notes that we had in the fourth sonata throughout the entire fourth sonata. So there is a little reminiscence of the fourth sonata in here. And then the left hand will play broken chord to bridge this little element of the theme, the turn, the repeated note left hand, and here's something gorgeous. For the first time, the left hand will have a musical line. It's not an accompaniment anymore. We're not doing that. or that, which would be a D'Alberti bass. This time, and we're gonna have chromaticism. And remember, we talked already about chromaticism. So you see all these elements I talked about from Beethoven, they are present already and they continue. So he's investigating. And now listen to the bass line. That's almost full chromaticism. See that the second time it repeats, it's complete chromaticism. So Beethoven is being interested by the chromaticism. Why? Because chromaticism means it's not clear where we're going harmonically. So we can go anywhere. And that's interesting from Beethoven. And we arrive to the second theme. So as I said, the second theme will be in the dominant key. So the half steps again, the chromaticism. And then you're going to go really far harmonically. Listen to this. It's going to put an E flat minor key as a note that's passing, but in fact, if I was in minor, all of this would be normal. But major, minor, and major. Oh, that's kind of, oh. And he does it one time, but on the recap, the second time, he's going to do it again. So it's not by chance. And then we have lots of runs, and then we have the chromaticism coming back again. Half step, no step, half step, half step, half step at the left hand, half step. So we're moving by half steps all the time, and the same in here. So we have half steps all the time. So really he's investigating half step, and come on the climax of this whole thing, this chord. So we're getting into romanticism material in here. That ends there. That big seventh chord to go back to the beginning. Very forte, big contrast, surprising. And then we go back to the very beginning. The variations in here are not necessarily at the right hand. They will be also, but that are the left hand too. Instead of I have. So I have more lines, and instead of the first time I have that, the second time I have. So I'm adding more and more and more. The concept of belcanto, embellishment, I'm embellishing, I'm adding and adding. And that famous section that I played earlier on, the trill, what had to take time? Well, here, it's even more notes. So this time, I could not even play it as it's written. It would go way too fast, and it would make no sense. So I'm going to play. And then the left hand. Let's make a little bassoon. And then it continues, the repeated notes, the turns, the bassoon. Now clarinet and bassoon. And now listen to the chromaticism. So here I have a complete chromaticism, and listen to the tension it's going to give harmonically. First time I did that, and the second time changed, embellishment, more notes. So same process comes to the second theme. the second theme will be in A flat major because the piece is in A flat major. So all of this, perfectly normal. That's the way it's supposed to be. And we're going to have the same A flat minor coming in the middle. So it's really a wrong note. Purposefully, same progression. So I'm going to have a complete chromatic scale from here. But at the end of this, I end up this way. That's how it should end, but it's not going to end. It's Beethoven, so we're going to do different. And how is it going to end? It's going to end with repeating one last time the theme, but this time with the offbeat. Do you remember we talked about the offbeat, the syncopation, on the first movement of the fourth sonata? If you didn't watch that video, go listen to the fourth sonata, first movement. I talk about the syncopation, and look, they come back again. And now, pam, 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 it's offbeat, and that's going to be offbeat all the time. What I'm snapping is the downbeat. What I'm playing is the offbeat. I'm always not with my hand. So that's called the offbeat. The music that emphasizes the offbeats is jazz. It's not classical music. The whole section, that's 4 lines, 19 bars of coda, will be on the syncopation the whole time. So let's listen to this for a second. And here the left hand will take over to have a counterpoint, a little counter melody to the top melody we hear. Romantic music at its best. These chords belong to the Romantic era, not the classical era, and he's using that. He's trying. You see, it's a small attempt, and actually when I'm playing this, you won't even hear it like this. Now chromaticism again. Point at the left hand that has the offbeat. Chromaticism. He does again the chord. It should end here. It's not going to end. There's going to be the coda of the coda, with this time left hand having the melody and the right hand doing offbeats again. If I emphasize the offbeat, that should sound like this. But you also notice that it's on the same note, the repeated notes I talked about so much in the fourth sonata. So all of this being combined is searching, is looking for new material to work with, and that's what he does in here. And now, the phrase will start on the offbeat of the measure, not on the downbeat. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. And now we finish. I hope this explanation will help you now listen to that second movement with no interruption and hearing all these details. I went pretty fast. I ran through all of them. I would suggest you listen to my explanation several times with a score to actually take notes of everything I said and then listen to it. Don't listen just to the first level of beauty, because the first level of beauty is amazing, but also try to integrate the second level of beauty of that piece, of all these intricate elements that are added to make the piece not only gorgeous on the top, but also in the second level. And when you mix the two, that becomes a gorgeous second movement. So let's listen now to that second movement. Thank you. so calm second movement when in fact so much happened in it. You can listen to all these movements that I referenced on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. And of course you can follow me on all the social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and of course my website on the bottom, laurentboukobza.net. So just go below the video, look at the description for more info, and you can read everything about all these links. Please like my videos, the little thumbs up, share it to everybody as much as you can. Let them know that there is this Beethoven Sonata explained movement by movement. And you enjoy the interpretation and the explanation. And I'll see you next week for the third movement. Very interesting third movement, don't miss it.